The truth is, with how good factory lubing has gotten, you don't need to do the painstaking work of lubing your own switches anymore. So in today's video, I'll walk you through the best switches that will feel silky smooth straight out of the box. Let's begin by taking a look at the Aqua Kings, which I'd say are the most classic switches when it comes to smoothness. In my view, the Aqua Kings really are the first and enduring example of a great factory lube switch. But what gives them that enduring power? I've been hands-on with, I'd say, over 150 switches over time, and with Everglide, they've really nailed it here with the Aqua Kings lubing. Among all the switches I've tested, these stand out with that unique smoothness that feels more lush and creamy. Moreover, the 62-gram bottom out puts it right in the middle weight-wise. Not too light, not too heavy, just perfect. And expect a deep and thonky sound signature with these Aqua Kings. But now let's spin the wheel to see what keycaps we'll be using these Aqua Kings with today. Alrighty, so today's sound test will all feature these beautiful Key Kobo Motel keycaps featuring bronze and emerald accents. Let's begin by listening to how the Aqua Kings sound. At around 40 grams, the B-Sun apples sit in that sweet spot for lighter typists. I've got to say, after testing these extensively, I think I found my personal preference for fast typing right around this 40-gram mark. There's something about this weight that just feels effortless and natural. So for everyday use, the apples are definitely my go-to pick. In terms of sound profile, if you love that crisp, clacky sound signature, the apples are absolutely the right choice for you. The factory lubing on these is solid too. B-Sun has really stepped up their game when it comes to making switches that are ready to go straight out of the box. You get the smooth linear feel without any of the scratchiness that plagued budget switches in the past. If you want to clock your sound signature, then pairing these switches with the keycaps made out of ABS, such as these Motels, would be a good choice. Now here's a sound test for these apples. If you want to be at the forefront of innovation, then the Venus and Neptune switches are for you. These feature a game-changing technology to create the smoothest typing experience possible. Also, these Venus and Neptunes are pretty much the same switch, just with different colors, so I'll be talking about them interchangeably. Indeed, they have nearly identical actuation and bottom out forces, with only a slight difference of about 2 grams between them. So it's a 50-gram bottom out for the Venus and 52-gram bottom out for the Neptune. These are very light, all things considered, lighter than around 3/4 of all switches out there. We'll have to open them up to see why these switches are so unique. Notice how there is something jutting out here on the top housing. This is a unique track structure found exclusively in the Venus and Neptune switches. For the entirety of the keystroke, the stem will be gliding against this track. What this results in is a switch that is structurally smoother than other switches on the market. To me, they feel really considered and refined. When it comes to sound, I would say the sound signature is neutral to the deeper side of things. They're really quiet too. I'll cut straight to the sound test so you can take a listen. Now let's talk about the Shanghais. These switches are from a relatively new manufacturer called HMX that have completely taken over the enthusiast market. HMX is known for two things: exceptional factory lube and a bright sound signature. The typing feel is quite bouncy and snappy, with a more condensed travel distance of 3.4 millimeters. These are super light too, so if you're a lighter typist, you'll love that the Shanghai's actuation force of just 37 grams is lighter than 93% of all switches out there. And these are super bright and clacky, even more than the apples we talked about earlier. Here's the sound test for these Shanghais. The first time I used these switches, I experienced that rare moment when you know you found something special. So what we have here are the Wano Sakuras. Wano is a relatively new manufacturer on the scene. As of late, they've been exclusively creating enthusiast-grade switches, and it's really obvious they've paid attention to the quote-unquote creamy part of the enthusiast market when crafting these Sakuras. So without a doubt, my favorite thing about these Sakuras is their sound. It's remarkably well tuned, leveraging the perfect combination of materials. The POC top housing contributes to a slightly hollow character, while the nylon bottom housing, being a softer plastic, adds depth with its naturally deeper sound signature. The smoothness is exceptional too. In fact, I can type on these all day without experiencing any fatigue. I find them to be great daily drivers. Our Discord community discovered these almost by accident, and now they've spread like wildfire through word of mouth alone. Now, here's the sound test. Now, here are back-to-back sound tests of all the switches we talked about today. But if you'd like to learn more about my top 5 creamy switches, make sure to watch this video here. For now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.